Welcome back to the Long Walk Podcast with your girl Haas, where we talk about wellness, creativity, and other musings from an elder millennial. Your girl is older, wiser, stronger, and I know you are too. For today's episode, we're talking about fitness over 40. Is it true that it gets harder as you get older, or are we just stuck in the past? I am very excited to hear your thoughts, so please don't hesitate to share with me. I am 41 years old, and I, for the most part, have had a truly active lifestyle for the majority of my life. In the 20s, I don't know, for me, it was a little mix of wanting to be physically fit, wanting to be attractive, but also I was dealing with bouts of anxiety. And so doing weights was like the quickest way for me to start to feel good and feel calm. So it was a no brainer. So in my 20s, I was in the gym really often. Also, there was a period where, I wasn't living by myself. So the gym was this place where I could kind of like put my headphones on and just veg out, just really be in my own thoughts. And so, that had me at the gym like 6 times a week. And then in my 30s, I started training for marathons, and oh my goodness, I had so much fun with that. Something I kind of always wanted to do, and I started training with a charity, so it was like really exciting to give back and meet new people and travel to places I wouldn't have thought of going to had I not joined. So that mix it always kept me fit. And then, I got into a little Bikram yoga challenge, and I did that for quite a while. I did like the 30-day challenge of going every single day, and then I was like hooked. I loved the heat, everything. And so, when I look back, I was always in the gym or doing some kind of fitness. And I really loved it. And, hindsight is 2020. So I think while I may not have considered myself in the kind of shape I wanted to be in, I really was. That's the funny thing about hindsight. And, when I look back now, I'm like, oh my goodness, I was ripped. I was doing good. But it's just funny. You never realize it until it's in the past. I hope that's not true forever, but I think like that's been my experience for a while. And so now, full disclosure, had some health hiccups, which if you've seen any like a YouTube video from me or anything, I'm very, very transparent about that. But it led to some mobility issues. So I'm definitely not in the shape I used to be in. And I don't have the same physicality, the same strength, the same level of mobility that I've had in my youth. I don't feel too old, but when I was younger, I definitely don't have that level of strength and mobility and fitness and wellness that I used to have, and that I would definitely say I took for granted. So when I think about this, one thing that's always a pull and a struggle for me, and I wonder if it's the same for you too, is how are you recognizing where you're at right now? Are you really, really out of shape? Are you really, really no longer as fit as you were? Are you really not as strong as you were? Or are you looking to be as strong as you were at 24, having consistently gone to the gym 6 days a week for an hour or two at a time? Are you looking to be physically fit in the same way that you were at 33, running every day, going to yoga every day, signing up for marathons? Or are you not actively, you're in your 40s, yes, and things change, yes. But are you not actively having the kind of fitness schedule that you used to have? Are you not committed to certain things in the way that you used to? Are you, have you had experiences in your life that kind of shifted your what do our lives look like now? Are we considering that, like, is there space in the same way that there used to be for this level of fitness? Now, I'm not saying that it's impossible. I'm not saying it's impossible to get there, but I'm saying we definitely have to be honest about the way our lives have shifted. Fitness, while we want it to, fitness and wellness, we want it to be a huge part of our lives, and it should be for our wellness. But life happens. And so, how do we live each day not acknowledging the huge life part, the huge moments that have shifted what we've normally done? Life is not static, it is not linear. So, why do we expect everything to always remain the same? Is it really just because you're 40 and everyone tells you that genetic shift and you're older and so you can't get in shape? Or is it really that life comes at you fast and you have to kind of take a moment to acknowledge it so you can reset? For me right now, I think I'm really recognizing that it is definitely about the reset. It is definitely about acknowledging that I'm comparing myself to a 33-year-old version of me, a 32-year-old version of me, a 24-year-old version of me, a 19-year-old version of me. And I am not those people anymore. So why don't I have new expectations for myself? Why don't I have more gentleness for myself, more compassion for myself, more understanding for myself? And why don't I create goals around that? I'm asking myself, and I'm definitely asking you too. And I hope you take a second to think about it, because I think that's the huge thing here. We can definitely reach our goals. We see it all the time. You can go anywhere. Definitely. Granted, I don't recommend we use Instagram or TikTok as mediums to dictate what our goals should look like. At the same time, we see people in their 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, even 80s online and fit, and granted, we see the results. We don't see the process or the progress. But that in the same respect is telling us that it is not an end for us. It is not an impossibility. But my thought here is, how can we include compassion and gentleness in the progress and in the process? Now that we're no longer, now that maybe genetics and youth isn't quite on our side the same way that it used to be. Um, I would say for me, the biggest thing has been fighting that desire to compete with my younger selves, to feel the need to compete with other younger people, to compete with the results I see online versus while not knowing their progress or their process. Um, I think it's really, for me, important to start remembering I start again every day and I can make a new choice every day. And sometimes what used to work no longer works. And that's okay. And I don't even mean that in like a fitness tip or exercise routine. I mean that in how we approach what we do. I I used to be an incredibly ambitious person. I say used to be because while I don't think it's gone, it's definitely transformed a bit. And now that doesn't feed me quite the same way. So, you know, running the fastest or running the longest or being in the gym the most, that doesn't mean anything to me. So I had to start looking at what my priorities are right now because I was thinking that I could get myself where I wanted to be based off trying to be ambitious again, like I was at 25, trying to be the best. But the best means something different to me now. So I'm not going to attack my goals in the same way. I'm not even going to use the word attack when I think about my goals. The word attack by itself, when I think about my goals, immediately makes me want to sit down and do nothing. And that is a huge shift from my younger self. And so I had to start looking at it like, what do I want to be? What do I really want to be right now? And I want to be well, well as hell. I want to be well, and whatever that means. And then I investigate like, what does that well mean? That means I can feel independent. That means I can move my body with ease. That means when I go to the doctor, I have a clean bill of health. And not only do I have a clean bill of health, but I feel well to match it, you know, um, that I stretch, that I feel balanced mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally. That's what wellness looks like to me now. And maybe it'll shift. Maybe the better I get, maybe that hunger will come back. But for now, that's what that looks like. And so now that I know that that's what that looks like for me, how do I place my goals around that? Um, and for me, it's been take whatever time your body gives you. And when your body tells you no, listen. Don't give up. Listen and reset. So sometimes, when you look at different fitness gurus, you'll hear like, oh, just start with 30 minutes a day. But what if you don't have 30 minutes? What if you are physically incapable of having 30 minutes? What if you don't have 20 minutes? What if you don't have 10 minutes? Seriously, I kid you not. I had to go all the way back to 5 minutes. And at first, I felt really embarrassed because, like, I had to walk for 5 minutes. And there was a point where I couldn't. And I had to build myself up for that. And the way that played on my psyche and my self confidence, when this is the same body that ran 40 miles in all kinds of terrain for an ultra marathon. This is the same body doing Bikram yoga at least once or twice a week. This is the same body that was a pace leader for people practicing and beginning to marathon train. And now I'm begging my body to walk for 5 minutes. If I could explain to you how crushing that felt for me. Oh, if I could explain that. It was unlike anything I can really, really express. I think other people who have experienced that kind of shift in their mobility can identify and relate. But you know what? Now I'm walking more than 5 minutes, you know? And the only reason I'm walking more than 5 minutes is because I had to stop fighting with the fact that I could only do 5 minutes. I kept pushing. No, I'm going to walk 10 minutes. No, I'm going to walk 20 minutes. No, I'm going to walk 30 minutes. No, I'm going to walk an hour. And I would be in the seething pain and stiff for the entire rest of the week. I couldn't do anything else because I had to push and prove, no, Hasina, no, Hasina, you can do more than that. Versus there was a time when I could do more than that. But right now, I don't have it. I don't have the hour. I don't have 30 minutes. I don't have 20 minutes. I don't have 10 minutes. And right now, all I have is 5 minutes. And once I got really, really comfortable with the fact that all I had was 5 minutes, my body gave me those 5 minutes. My body gave me those 6 minutes. My body gave me more than one day a week of walking. My body gave me 2 days a week of walking. My body gave me 4 days a week of walking. My body gave me 5 days a week of walking. My body gave me the ability to start walking again without a cane, which I had had to use for some time. My body was just asking to be seen as it is versus what I wanted it to be. And once I stopped fighting it, it was giving me a real chance to transform in a way I hadn't expected I could, in a way that I thought was completely over for me. And while I am so thankful, again, I allow myself to recognize that the healing is not linear. It is not linear. So I'm going to have a couple days where, hey, I walked miles at a time. I was good. And then I'm going to have a couple days where I don't have it. But please, please, my body is asking me to respect its progress and its process. And I think that's really all we're missing. And I say that not just from my own experiences, but there was this wonderful thread which I wish I had saved on Twitter. And it was a thread of people who had gotten fit over 40. And the thread included people in their 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, late 70s, maybe. And each and every one of them said that what you want, what you've decided your goal to be, is attainable. But you have got to stop looking at it like it's attainable in the same way that it was attainable when you were 21. If it took you 3 months to lose that weight at 21, give yourself the year to lose that weight at 50. If it took you 6 months to run a 6-minute mile at 28, give yourself 2 years to run a 6-minute mile at 60. Now, and that sounds crazy, that sounds wild, but listen, I get it. And with that being said, that's not even including any illness issues, any mobility issues, any of that. But it makes a hell of a lot of sense. Why do we think we're frozen in time? While these are the same bodies that we're keeping, they've changed just like our minds have. So why are we expecting to move and be exactly the same? It really doesn't make any sense. I mean, I think one of the reasons is definitely, media, TV, everyone, society, media, desiring youth so badly that we don't acknowledge or want to acknowledge the shifts that happen as we age, and we treat them like they're bad. No, they're natural and it's okay. And I think the first thing is just recognizing it's okay, man. It's okay. Say it with me. It is okay to take your time, to figure it out, to reset, to learn from your own body, to let your body show you the way. That's what I'm doing right now. And oh gosh, I gave my body such a hard time. Such a hard time. I just would not listen. But I finally am getting it. And I'm finally listening. And oh, she's treating me so well now. I wish I would have just listened sooner. So, with that being said, I'm going to take my time. This is a 41-year-old body. I'm going to let this 41-year-old body tell me how it would like to be treated so that we continue in wellness and strength and fitness. How so we continue to be our best versions of ourselves, not our 20-year-old selves, not our 30-year-old selves, but who we are right now. So that's what I'm doing. I'd love to hear your thoughts. And I think this this relates to so many things in all of our lives, not just fitness, but definitely just respecting the process and respecting the progress, So please let me know your thoughts. You can always find me on Instagram at Hasina Flower. You can send me a tweet at Hasina Music. You can send me a comment on YouTube at Hasina Music. And you can also find me on Facebook on my page, Hasina. And just, share with me what you think about this. I'm really interested in seeing your perspectives. So, thank you for listening to The Long Walk. I so much appreciate it. I look forward to continuing this walk with you. See you soon. One love.